Alright guys, today I'm going to show you a couple tricks to help perfect your decorating technique. I'm going to be looking at using the align feature to nicely put barrels on a rack, as well as how to properly place a painting on the wall. So in the housing editor here, I'm going to get my barrel rack. Alright, so get your barrel rack lined up how you want it. Just adjusting it here. I want to make sure it's kind of level with the wall. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so next up we need our barrels. For the time being, I've just placed the barrels on the ground where we can grab them nice and easy. So the trick we're going to want to use here turn surface drag off, to get the barrels lined up properly, what we're going to do is we're going to align them. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the wall, and we hit the right mouse button to align it. What that does is that sets the bottom of the barrel parallel to the surface you're looking at. So if I look at the floor, it's going to set it straight up like we started. The ceiling, seemingly is straight up. It's actually upside down, but you can't tell since the barrel's symmetrical anyway. But again, we'll use the wall to get it right for the barrel rack. So now, what you want to do is, basically you want to be looking at the barrel rack kind of head on. And we'll get the barrel placed. So, looks like the barrel is actually clipping into the barrel rack a little bit, so we'll move it up. That looks pretty good. So now what you want to do is, once you've placed it, and you're happy with it from the front, you want to take a look at it from the side. See, now this barrel is hanging a little bit more off the back than the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, and very carefully I'm just going to inch it forward a little bit. And see, now it's more or less even front and back, and you'll notice that it's still centered and on the rack how we'd like it. So again, we're going to repeat this for the remaining barrels. Align to the wall, get it set to the front. All the while, remember that you really have to have surface drag turned off for this, otherwise you're not going to be able to get the barrels in the rack really. Okay, see, I'm happy with it from the front, so we come around. Now it can be a little bit tricky doing barrels that aren't the top barrel, getting a hold of them. But generally speaking, if the barrel's stuck out a little bit more than you'd like, you should be able to get a hold of it. And our front got messed up just a touch. Alright, looks good, and looks good there. And now the last barrel. Rinse and repeat again. We align to the wall. Get it placed how we'd like it in the front. And then inch it along from the side. And there you go. You have a nice, hold on. No, I'm not at all picky. Now we have a nice, perfectly set up barrel rack. Barrels are all nicely anchored on there, centered nicely, nice and even. So that's how you do that. Next, I'm going to tear this rack down. And we're going to look at putting a painting on the wall. Alright, so I'm intentionally doing a sturdy painting rather than a bolted painting. The bolted paintings tend to behave a little bit better. So with a painting, you as soon as you pull the item out of your bag, it comes in, right side up and, perpendicular to the floor and pretty much ready to be placed on a wall. If you wanted to do something weird, like place it on a ceiling, for instance, what you would want to do, I'm not going to actually show you this, but just as a reference, and it'll kind of help you understand how a line works a little bit better. So when we use a line, remember, it's for aligning the bottom of the item to whatever surface. So if I align to a wall, for instance, the painting just went, flat-like. So if I want to get that fixed, I have to actually align to the floor. And there it is. So if you want to go on the ceiling or something like that, you'd want to align to a wall and then go like that, and that's how you'd place a painting on the ceiling. Again, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but just as a reference and something to bear in mind when decorating other things. So we align to the floor to get that back straight. We're going to turn surface drag on. What this is going to do is it's going to help us get the initial placement of the painting. Now, bear in mind that surface drag, if you move side to side, you're still going to tilt it. So when you're placing a painting, you really want to be head-on with the spot you're going to be placing it. That's going to help you get the rotation right. Okay, so we got the initial placement. Now we look, and we can see that the painting is floating. So the way we're going to fix this is we're going to look at the painting head-on again. Grab it. Turn surface drag off. And we're going to carefully inch forward. It takes a little bit of... see, now part of the outside the frame has sunk into the wall, so we know that, we're in the wall a bit. Back out a smidge and place it. Now let's see how that looks. Alright, so we're still floating a bit. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to approach it from a little bit closer. Alright, so actually the painting is, at this point, it's far enough into the collision surface of the wall where I can't actually grab it the normal way. So we're going to have to go into our Browse menu, Retrieve, and find the painting that's right in front of us, and hit Modify. So I'm actually going to have to kind of start this over again since I messed it up. So I have to turn surface drag back on, get my initial placement. Grab it again. And we're going to inch, didn't turn surface drag off. Got to turn surface drag off and inch forward. And if I tilt, we can see that I'm starting to sink in on either side. So get it to where it's not sinking, and that should probably be pretty good. Yep, see that's right up against the wall there. And that's how you get a painting on the wall nice and neatly. It is a bit of a pain, especially since if you mess it up after a certain point, you can't actually grab it, so you have to retrieve it from the menu. But it's not too bad. We'll take one quick look. We'll retrieve this painting, and I'll show you a bolted painting, which should behave pretty well on its own, but we'll take a look and verify that that's the case. Alright, so surface drag on, and kind of approaching the surface more or less from the direction we want to be at. And we'll place it, and we'll take a look. See, there's just a almost imperceptible amount of float going on there. So we can adjust this a little bit. And with the bolted paintings, their frames are thick and squared, so you can actually afford to sink them into the wall a bit and still look good. So surface drag off, move it in just a couple taps, and there you go. It's in the wall, nice and neat. And that's it. That's the tip for today. I hope this will be of some help in refining your decorating of your homes. And thank you very much for watching.